Welcome everybody to another episode of Death by Horror. Joining by my good friend Chris. This is gonna be a real different video. We're not doing this is kind of a movie review as well as a TV show review, but more importantly, we're gonna talk about Jason David Frank, aka Tommy Oliver from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Yeah, and this video will be for both of our channels.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's why there's two cameras.
Yeah, we got two motherfuckers going at the same time.
Yeah. All right. So first of all, I just want to say rest in peace to JDF. Our hearts goes out to his friends, his family, to all his loved ones. It's actually been exactly 1 week since his passing, and it's kind of devastating still, especially the way
I couldn't believe it. One of my friends had sent me a picture that he had, passed away the day before it was officially announced, and I was like, of course, you read something like that, you just write it off like, you're fucking with me. It's a prank, whatever, And then the next day, it was confirmed, and then more details started coming out.
Yeah,
and I was devastated.
And just out of respect to all his loved ones, we're not going to get into details because why would we? We just want to focus on the positives, and we're just going to go from there. And so we're going to start off by showing off a couple of our collectibles. This is Power Rangers the movie, which is the first one that came out, as well as the Turbo the movie, which he was also in. He was in 3. And then there's this one which came out as the newest one. He made a special cameo towards the end.
Him and Kimberly. Yeah.
Him and Kimberly, yeah.
Yep.
Also, Amy Jo Johnson, which is her real name. And she better not cancel this year. You'll see here that we have a bunch of action figures from the Lightning Collection. We have this special figure. We have the series. We have the Red Ranger helmet.
That's right.
We have the Power Morpher with the Black Ranger Power Coin. I'll explain all that, the reason why. We have Goldar and Rita Repulsa statue figures. And as well as the original Green Ranger figure that came out in the 90s right here. Check it out. And then this means a lot to me. Power Rangers Turbo 11x17 poster signed by JDF as well as other cast members. And Mark Richardson, which is still very happy to meet. Mark Richardson was the Lord Zed in this movie who did the sleeping scene. And for you horror fans, the exciting part is he also did the weapon props for the Devil Rejects.
That's right.
And also, cheers to JDF from Green Ranger, Green Bottle.
I don't drink, but I love my Coke, so. Not that kind.
Yeah, and if you want to show off what you got signed in some of your collectibles.
Yes, sir. So, when I met JDF, well, we went on the same day you were there.
Yep.
And I was there when you got that poster, but sorry about if there's a glare, guys, but he signed this piece for me right here. Pretty cool. I got this from one of my favorite vendors at Frankensons, and it was cool. And, it was like the last one they had. I was like, you know what? This is freaking awesome. I got to have him sign this one. So.
And you went on the same day, didn't you?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, got that, and he loved this when I met him. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm trying to not get so much glare, but it is it's in the 11x17 poster of all of them together without their helmets, which I got JDF's to sign right there. Austin St. John and David Yost. Unfortunately, Trini has passed away as well. She's been gone a while, so I'll never get her, but I just need Kimberly and Zach for this piece to be completed. And my last piece that I got Jason David Frank to sign was this freaking, I don't know what you call these, like lithograph or something like that. It's like holographic. And it's what makes it cool is it has all, 3 different versions of his Ranger forms. So that's pretty awesome. Got that piece,
Awesome.
Piece signed.
So we're just going to start off with talking about the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the series. Okay? So before we get into that, we're going to be respectful. We're only going to state positive things. We are going to mention other characters that's in the show as well as the movies, but we're mainly going to focus on JDF. So tell me, well, first of all, who is your favorite Ranger?
Oh, it's always been Tommy.
Tommy.
You're gonna get naturally, now that he's passed, you're gonna get people that, oh, he's always been me. Legitimately, ever since I was a kid, my all-time favorite has always been Tommy, and it was specifically his Green Ranger form.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong, I love the White Ranger, I love all his other forms, but the Green Ranger for me has always, like, you got no idea. Like, I loved the Green Ranger so much that I remember being a kid and my parents were buying a new Chevrolet truck, and I literally begged my parents to get it in green just because I loved the Green Ranger. And of course they did. So I thought that was like the coolest thing ever. He's just always been my favorite, man. Like, it literally took the Rangers 5 episodes to figure out how to beat him, because he kept giving them the smoke. He was whooping that ass on all of the whole team.
Thanks to Rita Repulsa for recruiting him
right?
and giving us the best intros of the Green Ranger.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was pretty brutal.
Oh yeah.
So tell me what episodes sparked in you, what part of his character shined on you and impacted your childhood?
I would have to say that beginning arc, that his debut.
Mm-hmm.
I just love the whole. Although he was being controlled by Rita, it really did display just how powerful he was.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at any point in the series, it kind of gave you that idea in your head. Like, if he really wanted to, he could go back to that mentality and, like, just whoop the shit out of all of them, So that's why, to me, he was always the most powerful one,
mm-hmm.
The most intriguing one as a character, with, not even in Ranger form, just Tommy Oliver himself.
Right.
So, what about you?
Okay, so to start off, a lot of people are going to hate me for this, but
okay.
Tommy Oliver is my third favorite Ranger.
Oh.
And I will explain why later on. But for me, what impacted me is that he was a lone wolf.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when he first debuted, remember, and you guys can go back and review this. He was in a karate competition at the Angel Grove, and he went point for point with Jason,
mm-hmm.
and they were tied. And Jason is my second favorite Power Ranger.
Okay.
But Tommy was always, like, by himself. If you review the series, he was always alone. And he was a little careless in the series, but we get it. He had competitions. He was in class. His communicator was always in his backpack, the locker. He had a hard time holding on to that. But that also shows that humans and superheroes can make mistakes. So that made it more real.
Yeah.
And like you said, he gave the Rangers a run for their money.
Definitely.
And, my favorite Tommy form is Green Ranger, but evil Green Ranger.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Because after that, he became a liability. And it was a little annoying. Okay? Because his powers because he couldn't use his powers every time that he went to go help him, it was very limited. And it's like, damn, like, homie, you gotta find a way to try to help these guys without you being a liability. And at the same time, everybody likes a good love story between him and Kimberly. And for most people, Kimberly was every guy's first crush. Mine, unfortunately, was Scorpina.
So you could say you were after that tail.
You could say that. Asian persuasion, Anyways, but one of the main things that I really liked is that when Jason was in the other dimension with Goldar, he told Goldar, like, stop, I'm gonna take care of Jason. That's what Rita wants. And then he was toying with him the whole time. And then as soon he was about to gut him with the Sword of Darkness, Jason was able to teleport thanks to Billy. Yeah. And I thought it was so brutal, too, how he got into the command center, terrorized, like legit terrorized the whole command center, even messed up Alpha with the programming by inserting a disc that gave him or her a virus. Yeah.
That was the first computer virus on screen, you could probably say. No.
That might be true.
In the Power Rangers universe.
That might be true. And then one of the things that that I loved actually was when Kimberly confronted Tommy, saying like, "I know you're the evil Green Ranger," and he was like, he just said, "Well, now that you know, I'm gonna destroy you all," rather than saying, "I don't know what you're talking about."
That's another thing. Like he straight up didn't care. He's like, "Yeah, it is me, and what? Like, what are you gonna do?"
And I mean, like, you're interrupting the guy as he's working out, so he's already in a pissed off mood. You know, like
gym rats know about that.
Yeah, everybody, you know. So that was really funny. I like the whole interesting concept of the green candle. Kind of reminds me of Hocus Pocus a little bit with the black flame candle. Yeah, exactly. It was very the whole thing with Rita casting that voodoo spell was very Halloweenish. You know, if you go back and you see the person going like this in the coffin with the spider webs, it just didn't look human, you know?
Yeah.
So I can definitely appreciate that. And one thing that I really loved also is that there was finally a ranger that can go toe to toe with Jason, because Jason was considered the best. He was even teaching Billy how to he was teaching Billy karate. Trini and Kimberly had their own thing going. Walter, sorry, I was gonna say his real name, Walter Jones,
Zach.
but Zach. He was always sparring with Jason, so it was fun to see that there was somebody at the same level as Jason, maybe even higher. You know?
I would say higher, probably.
You would say higher? I mean,
I think he could have whooped that ass.
I mean, based on the score, it was 3-3, homie. So I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, you know. Anyway, let's move on.
All right. So, what form would you like to talk about? You want to talk about the White Ranger next, or?
I mean, you're the expert on everything past Mighty Morphin. I'm a Mighty Morphin guy.
I went up to all the way to Lightspeed Rescue. Yeah. So, Tommy Oliver played as the Green Ranger, the White Ranger, Red Zeo Ranger, Red Turbo Ranger, and Black Dino Thunder, which I did not see, and I know he did cameos in other series as well.
See, and that's another thing. Sorry to interrupt, but that's another thing about JDF that I love and always respected. He always, no matter what, he always went back for the love of the fans, showing him that love and support. He always went back and he did those, you know, cool little like cameos and stuff like that. And in some cases, even like supporting roles, you know, small supporting roles.
Oh, definitely.
So, huge respect for that.
Yeah, exactly. Hell yeah. One of the things that, and so he was a unique ranger. He was the only one with a shield, and who can transfer that shield power onto another ranger. Because if you guys remember correctly in the Mighty Morphin series, that he gave his powers to Zach. To, you know, give him strength because he was fucking up, and he also transferred his powers to the Red Ranger, so that way Rita can't get full grasp control of the Green Power Ranger. You know, so Jason was kind of like responsible for both power coins at this point.
Yeah.
And he also had a dagger, which everybody still doesn't know till this day. How in the world is he whistling into that flute through the helmet? It's a mystery to us all. And then the Dragon Zord. Okay, one thing that was unique about the Dragon Zord is that you never really saw Tommy go inside the Dragon Zord. He was always on top of the Dragon Zord's head.
It almost reminded me of like your like evil and your good version, like on your shoulders and stuff. It looked like that. It reminded it had like that imagery too. So he's like, destroy Angel Crow, you know.
And it was cool. Like actually the Dragon Zord, I liked it way better than the Megazord because because I love the fact that it shot missiles out of its hands.
I just love the fact that it was a dragon. Like, it reminded me of like Godzilla every single time it popped. That, especially the way it like popped randomly out of the water and stuff. Like, come on.
And it was like wakening the dragon, and it's just like, oh man, who's interrupting my sleep? Whose ass am I gonna kick right now? Because I'm pissed off. I was sleeping, I was having a good dream, and you woke me up because.
So it's like me when I wake up.
Yeah.
If someone wakes me up.
Yeah, except you're no Dragon Zord. You're just
I mean, yeah.
You're just a bitch. So, moving on. So at some point in the series, a lot of people don't know that in season actually 3.5, which is the Alien Ranger season. 10 episodes in, they had to get help to get their powers back, as well, and Ninjor helped them, which is how he became in season 3, the White Ranger with the ninjetti powers. Okay, and that goes for all the Rangers as well.
Yeah.
So it was really unique, and that's probably other than the Evil Green Ranger, that's my second favorite form because I love ninjas. I used to play this game, Soul Calibur 4, and you had right, and they have a create character section,
right,
and I made all the Power Rangers, and they were all ninjas, my own little form.
There you go.
So, and again, Tommy, once again, having the most unique role with weaponry, he had Saba.
Yeah, for some reason, for me too, that's another thing, another reason I should say why I love Tommy. He always had the coolest, like, everything. The freaking dragon door, the dagger, the Saba, like,
Yeah.
Coolest gadgets, like, out of all of them.
Yeah, for real. And it's just like, and it's like, you kind of want to talk to Zordon in private and like, yo, so...
Like, what's up? What do I get? Like, if you're like any of the other Rangers, you're like, yo, come on, man.
Well, like, okay, so I got a bow and arrow.
I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, right? It's like, okay, how come my sword doesn't talk? And we never call it anything but Saba. His weapon legit had a name, Saba. You don't call it a sword. You don't call it a weapon. It's Saba. You call it something else, it's pretty disrespectful.
Yeah.
And yeah, as it should be. Let's see. So going on to the movie, the Power Rangers first movie. Now, did you watch that in theater?
Well, I begged my parents to take me to the theater to watch that movie.
Talk about the experience.
I don't remember how old I was, but yeah.
Well,
it was, just the whole, I want to say nostalgia, but back then, it was like, as it was happening, like as the series was going on and stuff. But it was cool, man. Going to the theater, I had no clue who the hell Ivan Ooze was. Right. That's for sure. So that was a whole, like, new thing. But other than that, they brought everybody back. Obviously the original, the Red, we all know that fiasco, but they brought everybody from the series at that point back for the movie. Bulk and Skull were in it. Freaking, so you had that blend of, like, good comedy, It was an experience, man. Looking back now, it's like, it's super cheesy, but you love it. Like, you love that it's so damn cheesy. You're like, man, I used to think this was, like, the coolest thing back in the day. And to a certain degree, it still is, just because it sparks those memories for people. And I think that's part of the reason why Power Rangers, JDF, all these actors that, not only Mighty Morphin, but in every iteration, like, the kids growing up now, whatever the current version of Power Rangers is, like, that's Mighty Morphin to them.
Right.
So
it's their introduction.
It just keeps on going. And that's the great thing about it. Even though they're into that current season or series, they're gonna get curious and be like, hey, you know what? I wonder what came before this.
Right.
Let me check that out. Let me check, Zeo.
And that goes with everything.
Mighty
Like,
Morphin.
that goes with everything. Like, we grew up in the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
But that was our introduction.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we go back to the Golden Era and watch all those classic WrestleMania matches, SummerSlam, and all that, etc.
Exactly. It's like that with everything.
Exactly. My experience was fanboy as it can get. Okay, I'm telling you right now, I literally had a Power Rangers hat, a Power Rangers shirt. I had Power Rangers shorts with the logo on the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger logo on them.
Nice.
I had the shoes. I literally had the shoes. I went there and I bought everything Power Rangers. Like, my mom hooked me up. There was these gummy bears, right? And it's shaped as one big ass helmet. And it was like, and like, you just take a few bites, it's like gummies, It's like, and I even got that, and I was inside the movie theater watching this movie for the billionth time as if it was my first time.
Well, shit.
Yeah. and then when I got the movie, I can't tell you how many times we had to rebuy that copy because I kept on messing up the VHS.
Yeah, I used to watch. No, I think, pretty sure I used to have like 2 copies on VHS myself because that thing was.
I had a minimum of 4 copies.
Damn.
Yeah, I watched it over and over and over and over and over till
I don't blame you.
And then so now, how did you like Tommy's roles in that movie?
I loved Tommy's role. I mean, I loved him in pretty much freaking everything he did throughout, the series. Like Mighty Morphin, I grew up on that. The movie was great. He always had that. It seemed like he always had good chemistry with everybody, with all his co-stars and stuff, and so giving to the roles. Again, like we said, going back to him, but specifically in the movie, I felt he had that great, like leadership role, obviously, but not only that, but also like a mentor and kind of like a guide in a way,
So you talk about leadership, and I'm very glad that you brought that up. Actually, tell me what was the major difference of the leadership between Jason and Tommy?
I think to a certain degree, I think Jason always, he was the leader at a certain point, but I think he kind of like, there was like that self-doubt to him, and Tommy seemed more like he was in charge. Like he knew what to do. He knew, okay, this is what we have to do to defeat this guy. If that doesn't work, he always like had a plan B, plan C, you know what I mean? So that's why Tommy's always been my favorite. Like
that's interesting that you say that, because I do agree with you, first of all, because Jason, although he was a really good leader, and if you look back like in other cartoons or series and stuff, the best example I can give you is Ninja Turtles, one that came out in the late 80s, the series. Leonardo always had Raphael, Donatello, and Michelangelo attack first, and if they were to fail, he steps in. But as far as Jason and Tommy, they were like, no, stand back, let me take care of this. I'm the leader, I'm gonna do this. And that's what I liked in the leader. But Jason, I felt, relied a lot on Billy to come up with strategies.
Yeah, he was kind of Billy was basically the Donatello. He was the tech guy, the whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
he was the brains.
He was. But Tommy always also figured out himself. Although he wasn't as smart as Billy, he did do his best to go from there. You know, one thing that I liked between the two, and this is where Tommy falls a little bit short. Okay, Jason's weakness was his entire friends, all the Rangers. That was his biggest weakness. Whereas to JDF, Tommy Oliver, his biggest weakness was strictly Kimberly.
I could agree with that.
You know, because while all the other Rangers, for example, were down, he would always check on Kimberly first. You know, whereas to Jason, he's checking randomly. You know, so I always thought that was kind of funny. In its own little way.
I mean, it's his girl, so...
technically, yeah.
Technically.
Okay, so let's move on to Power Rangers Turbo. Okay, so how did you feel them, with that movie, them going from Power Rangers Zeo to Turbo, despite you not watching the Zeo series?
I mean, See, here's the thing. I did watch them growing up, like on TV and stuff when they debuted, but I never really followed, like I said, Mighty Morphin's like right here, like near and dear to my heart. So I kind of like lost interest, to be honest, after that.
So you did watch it, it's just,
I watched it, I watched it. It's just the memory of like exactly the storylines that happen and whatnot. Like that's not really there. I know that's more like your department. Up? Yeah. This is the guy.
Bitch.
But
yeah. So what'd you think of the movie?
Which one?
Turbo. You still didn't answer my question.
I mean, I liked it. Hey, I liked it. But Mighty Morphin all the way.
Do you remember the movie at all? Turbo? Or vaguely?
Very vaguely.
Vaguely? Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll talk.
Yeah, that's your department. Like I said, that's his department.
Alright, so I did like Turbo better than the first one. Okay, and the reason, only reason, because I love pirates. Okay, I love pirates.
Alright.
Pirates are like the coolest thing to me. So seeing how the villains were pirates, I thought that was just awesome. And then fighting on a ship when they're on their way, and then they're looking for that little troll dude Yeah, I thought that was cool because they found him and now they're on a mission to save his wife and kids. And one of the things though is that Kimberly and Jason, they get caught by those pirates, you know, and they turn evil, and then that's when you see the scene of Jason and Kimberly fighting all the Rangers, and they had a, how can I say this, like a dilemma.
Okay.
Like, damn, like they're getting their ass kicked by Jason and Kimberly, but they can fight back, but they don't want to hurt them.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, how hard do I fight back? What do I do? Blah blah blah. You know.
You gotta know when to pull those punches.
Yeah. So I thought that was really cool, and I also thought like, well, I mean, as a kid, I thought those turbo vehicles were like super cool, especially when they're just driving through the thickest sand in the world and through the craziest water and all that stuff. You know, they're just like, hey, this is cool. You know, I don't need a driver license. You know, I'm just going through the motion. You know, and then also like the fact that Adam in that series was one of the more alert characters in the movie. Okay, which brings me going a little bit back into the series in Zeo and Turbo, that, and this explains why I have the Morpher with the Mastodon, because although Zeo and Turbo was different, Adam was my favorite Ranger, and he was the only one that in the series that if you were to see them spar, there was times where Adam takes down Tommy, which I'm like, that's right. And
so
Adam,
that explains the Red Ranger as well.
And Adam was always my personal favorite because he was always the funniest, and I thought that was cool as hell. And that's what I like. I like comedy in anything, horror, wrestling, whatever I can get my hands on. If you make me laugh, I'm sold. So what's up? Alright. And then so now fast forward to the movie. Now my friend over here says they did JDF and Kimberly kind of dirty.
I mean, I would have wanted personally like a larger. I'm not saying they don't got to be in the whole movie, but
all of a sudden,
like, I mean,
all of a sudden,
I would have liked them to be in it more. Not just like a 5-second cameo. Like, I mean, I like the movie.
Right.
Don't get me wrong.
Right.
I did like the movie, but I just thought they could have get like all the Rangers. I thought that would have been cool as shit. Like to do all of them. You know?
So I mean, we can honestly say that Kimberly and Tommy have been in all 3 actual theatrical movies. Yeah. So I think that's pretty cool. Yeah. Anything you want to add?
I mean, that's kind of talked about.
So who's your top 3 favorite Rangers in order?
In order, obviously Tommy's number 1. I did love Jason. He was always my favorite. And third, honestly, I'd probably have to go with Billy.
Billy? Why Billy?
Billy, because like I said, he's the Donnie of, he's the Donatello of, he's the brains. He's always the ones that came up with it. That was like the flying car. That was a little, far-fetched, but...
He also came up with the communicators.
There you go. Yeah. He's always the brains, so he served a great purpose to the team. He contributed. Jason, as we talked about, was a good leader in his own right. And Tommy, I think, Jason and Tommy, they always kind of had that friendly rivalry type of thing going on too.
As well as Zach.
Yeah. Because
Zach had a good rivalry with Jason on a friendly level, of course.
Right.
They were always sparring. Zach came up with his own style called hip hop keto.
Right, I remember that.
And Jason's like, okay.
I mean, part of me wishes, like, speaking of rivalries, part of me wishes, Jason David Frank and Austin St. John in real life. I mean, it's no secret if you're a Power Rangers fan, you keep up with all the news and stuff. It's no secret that they weren't exactly the best of friends,
Right. But you know what though? I'm speaking of that and not gonna get too much into details with this. Despite their conflict with each other, Austin St. John, shout out to you, man. That was really awesome of you that you put your difference to the side and you quoted, rest in peace, Jason David Frank, once a Ranger, always a Ranger.
Yeah, dude, I saw that video. I got a little choked up with that. I was like, damn, dude, because I had heard, you know, they towards the end, before JDF passed, obviously, they had kind of squashed the beef. But just because you squashed the beef, that didn't mean they were instantly going to be like buddy with each other. But at least they were able to settle that. Yeah, at least I'm glad at least they got closure on that chapter. You know,
because some people don't get that.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of cases, and it's just unfortunate.
Yeah, so you know, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. We just wanted to kind of get our feelings out. We freaking love JDF. Just kind of going through memories and stuff like that.
And the reason why I chose to do this video is because I've gotten really, really sad over some certain celebrities that passed away.
Oh, same here.
But this is the second time I ever teared up.
No, yeah.
I legit teared up. The first time was Eddie Guerrero.
Same here.
Yep.
Same here. I was 15 years old. That was like, he was my hero, dude. Fucking Eddie Guerrero, rest in peace, too.
Yep. And I was really devastated when Sid Haig passed away.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Scott Hall recently, as well as Luke Harper. As you guys could tell, I'm a big wrestling fan, so is he.
We both are.
And Stanley as well, but I mean Stanley was up there, so you know that's that. Well, and the most recent as well as Kevin Conroy.
Oh yeah,
so,
big time, huge shout out, R.I.P. Batman. That was my childhood Batman right there.
The Batman.
The Batman. There you go.
So, but legit JDF passing, the way he did also made me tear up. But again, shout out to all his loved ones. Respect to every single one of you. Hearts goes out to you.
Nah, big time, man. I it's been like a week already. I still can't believe it. I can't. And I almost like wish someone would have reached out, like whether it's a fan, family members, if they had known what he was going through. Like,
and that is, and you know what? I'm just gonna throw this out there as well.
Go for it.
Reach out, guys. You know, talk to me, talk to him. You know, reach out to us on Instagram. Death by Horror.
Weapon X 1990.
There you go. And, you know, we're here to listen. Suicide's no freaking joke.
It really isn't, no. If you guys feel like there's no freaking hope, that's another reason why we wanted to do this video, just to spread love, a cool message. You know, someone we looked up to and we looked at as like a childhood hero.
And I did say that we weren't going to get into this, but, you know, because sometimes you just can't help.
Sometimes
speaking.
you have to. You just have to try to spread some type of positivity. There's always a message in anything that happens.
You're not alone. That's it. Simple as that. If you need help through your darkest times ever, and you feel like there's no going back, reach out. That's it. That's it. Don't be ashamed. I will also say this: if you do reach out to somebody and they encourage you to do the worst, they're not your friend. You know, because I've had people and heard a lot of stories, and I'm just like, no, they're not your friend.
No.
Okay? Your friend will get you out.
Oh, yeah.
No matter what. Okay? So, please get help, guys.
Yeah, and with that, I'm Weapon X 1990.
Death by Horror.
And R.I.P. JDF.
Oh, one more thing. Sorry.
No worries.
Tomorrow. Wait, what's today's date? The 26th? Okay, so tomorrow, November 27th, 2022, at 8 a.m., we are leaving, which we should be arriving in Irvine by 9:30 a.m. And if you guys want to meet us up there, go for it. We will be at the command center. So, cheers to that.
Cheers.
And hopefully we'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully you guys like this video. Again, stay positive and reach out.
Thank you guys for watching.